Hey Narocon, thank you for popping in. Hello, my dears. My name is Shara, and welcome to the stream. So hi, Narocon. Didn't know if you heard me during the ad break. I hope everyone's having a good night. We're gonna do a little bit of 14 and see how much main story quests and whatnot we can get through. Okie doke. That's right, this is where we ended it. Alright, let's continue. Actually, why don't I start queuing for this? Because this takes a really long time to complete. And we'll see if it actually pops. And while we continue with main story. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life. An outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Momo to thank. Yes, you are right, of course, Sir Emmerich. We should be content with that, with what we have accomplished. I, for one, would not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva's no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drulamont, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men have recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies that the heretics stole from the House Four Tom's caravan? Less the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Ah, on an unrelated note, Momo, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took a half-dozen knights to restrain him, I'm told. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray, do not think less of him. 'Twas well you came, else we would not have won this day. Only a knight-errant may break a stalemate, my lady mother used to say. Your deeds are known to all at the front, but false would I speak if I said you were accepted by all. Pride hardens resolve in hearts alike. Yeah, there's, regardless of what we do, there's always going to be, regardless of what we do up until current story quest in Dawn Trail, there's always going to be people that don't like us. Say goodbye. Let's say hello to the boyo. If our business here is concluded, we should attend to Sir Emmerich in the intercessory. What were you thinking, Momo? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? And then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat? By the fury, Momo, 'tis the stuff of ballads! A battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was, forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you're here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Pray go on without me, Momo. Another matter requires my attention, but I shall join you anon. Greetings, madam. I shall show you in at once.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learnt to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
Eyes unclouded. For one with reason to celebrate, Alphado looks rather grim. It would seem you have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat, and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that the primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine, then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized peoples as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Momo, it's better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. If there's one thing that can be said for Sir Emmerich, it is that he understands how dangerous knowledge can be in the wrong hands. We are but fortunate that this incident took place in so remote a location. The truth should not be too difficult to suppress, for now at least. Let's see, any new dialogue? Let me check. I do not fault Sir Emmerich for being less than forthcoming with his beliefs. Not even the most highborn are beyond the reach of the Inquisition. True, young leaders can be more amenable to new ideas. Then again, their lack of experience and influence can hinder their ability to enact reforms.
There's a little fortune and far less fame in being a receptionist, but one must be realistic. Also, it would seem that I was grossly misinformed regarding the average earnings of a street performer.
Poor Tataru. Forgive me, Momo. I thought I had prepared enough meals for everyone, but the others are most hungry. Our stocks of wine have nearly run dry. That Charlian scholar is drinking us out of house and home. Mom Brita knows how to party. Calm yourself, Coltonet. It's just a little ship out of practice. Clean out the cobwebs, no end. A sip before practice, a sip after practice, and all too soon a sip during practice. I do believe Mom Brita is having quite the bad influence on you. We've got a lush here.
What you two do is your own business. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Trying to tumble the table now, are we? Don't give up yet, boy. Yida, line him up. Hey, I just gotta say, you're a pretty... you're alright. You're a lush. Also, thank Red. I respect the chutzpah, but maybe don't try out drinking a Rogadin as a healer.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
You sobered up fast.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before. Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
The reason royale. Minfilia would discuss how best to proceed in light of recent developments. I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard-Zoma. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few... Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Momo, 'tis well that you're on hand. We have a problem. Royale has escaped. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She'd been placed in this dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodations were not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with the 2 guards. 'Tis plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Royale quitting the city via the gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castra Meridanium, I am certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon Royale's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Bluefog and join the hunt. My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Royale walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Rolbon's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad move for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so here we are. Royale must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridanium. I don't think I'd ever really appreciated the multi-levels going on here before. Oh! Time to punch some folks. Was that really necessary? I'd better be compensated for the additional exertion you caused me. Oh. Well, the odds are good that wasn't gonna pop anyway. Here, let me just hide that so it doesn't bother me. This wretch was with Royale. He threw himself at us that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own, the goddamn harpy. Psst. With me, Scion, we almost have her. Let's see. I want Royale alive! Kill the rest! For Eorzea! You'll not take me so easily this time. Let's see, Equus, Sagittarius. Show them no quarter! What? I can't move! Let's see, did we get... more reinforcements? They really aren't paying me enough. Fools, you cannot stand against the Empire. They have healers. Kill them first. Where the fuck? Oh, you're a new one. Do we not have any fucking healers? I've more than earned my coin already. We're in your debt. The circle fetters those who wander within. Lure the enemy to it. Elbert died? Sounds like a skill issue, dude. Alright, I'll do easy. You know, there's something extremely ironic about having to save certain characters. How unfortunate. I'd like to know where all our damn healers are. Forgive us our lateness. Follow me! Over here! Bind her, and do it tight. Yes, sir! Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. You know, the second go-around. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-born Ishgardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. Okay, good for you, but why are you fucking up Eorzea? I did what I had to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagine me a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you the only person to have ever suffered. In case you've forgotten, Roban himself was born to poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortune. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different, then? 'Tis true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it's that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You'd return to Ul'dah to face justice, and the people whose trust you dragged through the gutter. Boy, that was some interesting dialogue. I joined the Crystal Braves that I might strike a blow against the Empire. Those who cast their lot with Garlemald should expect no better treatment. Not so much as a hint of remorse. 'Tis well that this sort of business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Roban chose his.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Roban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
You give Lolofels a bad name, sir. Yeah, our weapon is already just as good. Like Royale, I once made my way as a mercenary, and like her, I did more than a few things I'm not proud of. But never once did I betray my own. There are depths to which a man should not sink. Let us cling together. Often I would ask another favor of you. Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstance of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Roban, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. Ah, but I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and apprise Menphilia of all that's happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Royale in high regard. For better or worse, she will want to know how this tale ends. Wait. Yep, they're still at the table. This implies that Thancred just keeps getting into drinking contests with Mumbrita off duty.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say.
Roryu? Is that how that's pronounced?
Together with Robon, Aline lent us much-needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. we'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the aura site. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
That's a lie. There's a vendor and, like, a mender there, and a couple of scattered NPCs.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
I'm gonna force you to be sociable, Urianger, and that's it.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
Wow, I didn't realize that was mentioned this early.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the dark beings call the one true God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Kryl, my beloved.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
Huayu. What the fuck with that spelling?
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the media project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the Calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Huh, triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! One day I will purge this land of your sickness before the eyes of the 12, I swear it! Ah!
Her bedroom is so cute.
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chamber shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees.
The monitorists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Girl party, girl party.
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monitorists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the Immortal Flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Ul'dah's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the Monitorists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the Immortal Flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The Monitorists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monitorists shall cease to be. Ul'dah will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Rauban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
I mean, the other two of them were functionally elected. in Kane Senna's case, elected by the, in part by the people, but also by the fucking primal, the spirits, the, whatever they call them. The elementals. And, Mirwib was elected, and also kind of fought her way to the top. Good intentions. Minfilia is considering which of her many responsibilities demands her utmost attention. I am most eager to address the Ascian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you forget, antecedent, the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very purpose? This very reason. True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Momo, in particular, is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Ul'dah? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Also, I love that there's the sound of flames in the background because of where our camera is. Namely, the camera right this second is next to a torch. Suffice it to say, Telegia Delegia and his Monitoress Ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Roban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it would be best if I were to remain in Ul'dah, unless you have unless you have an objection? None whatsoever. We have matters well in hand. Moonbreeda's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Urianger is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time. Momo, while we focus on the task, mayhap you could assist Alphino and his braves with theirs? You would do much to restore faith in the Immortal Flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations that I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Real's latest report. He has proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept secret, hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Ul'dah riots. When you are finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. Alright, so this ad is coming up, so I'm just going to go ahead and run this while we're still waiting for stuff to happen, and I'll be back with y'all in 3 minutes. While we focus on resolving the Ascian threat, pray devote your energies to assisting Alphino and the Crystal Braves. Yeah.
Goodness, too many yawns. Could use some more seals. Hello, Momo. Are you sleeping well? You must be absolutely exhausted from saving the realm on a daily basis.
Ooh, there's new dialogue around. Ever since Monbrita arrived, the Rising Stones has been buzzing with excited energy. I must admit, her enthusiasm is rather contagious.
I'm unfamiliar with the dishes of the lands to the north. Perhaps once Monbrita has concluded her current research, she may deign to share with me her culinary knowledge.
She's from Charlie and they don't know how to cook. Monbrita has charged us with acquiring some rather esoteric manuscripts, but I'm afraid the task has proven to be nigh impossible. When the city of learning was abandoned, a great many tomes were scattered and lost. How smoothly our research might proceed were we able to peruse the archives of yesteryear. So they're actually referring to a library that we get to visit later in the game. We were but stripling adventurers the night we saw fire rain from the sky and a pillar of light scorch the heavens. What a sight that was, eh, Cultine? Hori and I were in Eastern Thanalan when the colossal shards of Dalamud pierced the ground. We stood witness to the subsequent explosions of ether, and watched dumbfounded as the swirling energy solidified into those twisted crystal structures that we now know so well. These two have been telling me stories about the corrupted crystal formations that appeared following the calamity. I'll need more data before I can draw a conclusion, but I'm intrigued by the potential of their untapped energies. I wonder if you sucked all the ether from them, if the physical parts would disappear.
We needed a rare ore to modify the white auracite, and Thancred solved the problem using only his link pearl. I mean, it's great and everything, but what's the fun in that?
When one is in need of precious commodities, it helps to have friends in the right places. Fortunately, I am well acquainted with the charming daughter of a successful Ul'dah import merchant. You absolute lush. Is everything in order, Momo? Are you ready to attend us?
Welcome back!
I've just been talking to the NPCs, so it's time to actually get this part of this going. Pleasure as always, Momo. You'll be escorting the commander to Ul'dah, I take it? Actually, I had another task in mind for her. If you would be so kind as to repeat your report for her benefit. Right then. Me and mine have been making inquiries into the source of the weapons what found their ways into refugees' hands a ways back. So happens we caught wind of something promising, a rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near Highbridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such large quantities of weapons if he did not already have clients awaiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant what caught an arrow while talking to Momo, don't it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears to the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say that these clients have the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods, savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, Momo? Then it's settled. Rendezvous with Captain Eilbert at Highbridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Ul'dah. I expect good tidings. Don't keep Captain Eilbert waiting for you too long, lass. He might have to start without you. I do like Riol. He's a very clever man. so fucking cool looking at night, I will admit. Shame it turned that part of the area into an irradiated hellscape, but you know, MBD. Ah, Momo. My scouts have been keeping a close eye to the Black Marketeer. It would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he has hired more than a few men to stand guard. Common thugs of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a woman of your standing, and Commander Leveilleur needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men ever have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, 'tis only natural that he would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Bait and switch. Ilbert is eager to bring the Black Marketeer and his clients to justice. Now then, we should make for the burning wall without delay and secure those weapons. The first unit will ensure that the clients do not escape. With me, Momo. Hello. I can do that salute, can't I? Let's see, what new emotes do I have? Oh, a back? Okay, so it is that one. And I can take a... That's cute. Okay, so these are all the dances. Oh, that's cute as shit. What the hell? Okay. Remember correct, Amalja Lancers approach from the east, engage the beast before they can reach Highbridge. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure this is the start of a whole series of fates. Sometimes there's fates that chain, and you do, like, usually 3 of them in a row. And I'm pretty sure this is the start of one. I spy the one man, but there are sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the Black Marketeer unawares. Once you've disposed of the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Any questions? Then let us be off. Good luck, my friend. Who goes there? An adventurer? Damn fool, you should never have come here. That's cute. Your first action should never be to attack. It should be to misdirect. Because, you know, then you have to deal with bodies. Worthless, all of you! This ends here. Sorry, I'm checking something. I don't understand. What's all this about? Grah! As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. But before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard, and to bring in an inexperienced recruit. Commander Levier would be most disappointed. Damn it all! A golden opportunity wasted. As for the clients, though we know not how, they slip past our perimeter. At present, the first is currently tracking a party of Duskwhite sellswords we suspect might be them. Would that we could have enlisted the aid of the immortal flames of the brass blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least, we've secured weapons. Yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicated a massive shipment, and this is anything but. Best laid schemes. Oprah would like nothing more than to have this incident forgotten. I joined the first in their hunt for the Duskwhite sellswords. I will join. If the gods are good, we'll catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. In the meantime, I ask that you deliver these weapons to Ul'dah in my stead. Entrust them to the third Yu Hase. He'll take care of the rest. Where are you in Ul'dah? You know what? Let's do a thing. Or nothing special. Let's just, why don't we take a sec and do this part of this mission, and then run over and talk to Yu Hase. Oh yeah, these guys. Here for the job, are you? Speak with my brother here. I've got some thinking to do. So this was to unlock the Sunken Temple of Corn. So this is actually one of the dungeons I'm going to do tonight, if I can. But the temple is like, it's really old, and it kept being added on to by various organizations, and it was basically a death trap. And then I went through and I basically cleared it out and made it safe to traverse, so a bunch of treasure hunters went there. And that was normal mode. This is now unlocking hard mode. Heard about our petition, have you? And you do it as we ask? No questions asked? Great attitude. Now then, the situation's like this. No, this isn't right. I'll be damned if I put our sister's fate into strangers' hands. I'm going myself. Oh, brilliant plan, brother. Go blundering into the Sunken Temple of Corn. The place is a death trap. What guarantees do we have that this adventurer can beat those traps? None, that's what. But you know better than any what those muscles are capable of. What these muscles, rather. What in the hell do you mean you've beaten those traps already? Wait, you're the reason Neneko's in this trouble? I'm gonna end you, I swear it. Calm yourself, brother. This adventurer is not to blame for what happened. Besides, she's perfect for the task. Let's start again, shall we? I'm Cisaruka, and this is my twin brother, Papakuli. As you may have gathered, we need you to mount a rescue mission to the Sunken Temple of Corn. After you defeated the temple's snares and traps, the place was officially open for research. The concern partnered with the Order of Nalthal to fund an expedition. Aye, and the research team was led by none other than Neneko, our little sister. She's the one who wrote the book on the ruins of Sildee, the research to end all other research on the place. As a reminder, Sildee was the civilization that predated Ul'dah and the Baladians predated Sildee and Ul'dah. My apologies. Nobody except her was going to figure out that Sildi and Ulda are both descended from the Baladian civilization. The sunken temple of Quarn is the native rock. No way in Seven Hells was she going to not lead that expedition. But who comes bumbling in? A band of relic hunters, that's who. The greedy Horsons set off a trap, and now our little sister is stuck in the sticking place. Poxy bastards put Neneko in danger. If they aren't Tomberry mints already, you can be sure that I'll end them myself. And that's the situation as it stands. Talk to Bibimu at the entrance to the temple, and she'll let you in. You go and get Neneko out of there in one piece, you hear? Sod everyone else in the expedition. Just get Neneko out of there. I mean, at least you guys are honest about your feelings, I guess. I'm only a few levels away from being able to unlock Dancer. Which I'm definitely gonna do on her. I'm not sure what outfit I should do for Dancer and Momo, though. I don't want anything too overly sexy. She's just a potato. Alian, my beloved. Why, Momo, this is a surprise. Resh wished for me to thank you for helping us to rescue her from Castrum Sentry. How fortunate that we could meet again so soon. Wilred, my buddy. Did you hear, my friend? I received my first official assignment as a full-fledged member of the Crystal Braves. Ah, the Warrior of Light, ever reliable friend to the Crystal Braves. You have my deepest thanks for your assistance in Kurthus. Now, what brings you to us this day? A wooden box filled with contraband. A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer, courtesy of Captain Ilberd, you say? Understood. Once we look through it, we'll bring it to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? Riel stated with confidence that there would be a far greater quantity of weapons. A blatant falsehood. Clearly, Riel is unfamiliar with the ways of Uldan merchants, who ever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. Yeah, you're talking shit. Riel knows what he's talking about. We should be thankful that his information was not completely erroneous, and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. No, this is a clear indication that the vast majority of these weapons was taken away before Ilward and them arrived. It's still something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Besides, we got more important things to worry about, like fighting these Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders are to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, then I shall take my unit to the Cerulean processing plant. Time for the fort to earn their keep, huh? Fight well, Elian, for the freedom of all. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the Immortal Flames will hear of your contribution. Until we meet again. Momo, a word if it pleases you. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Ave Exchange. No need for whistling this time, don't you worry. Oops. Conniving ne'er-do-well. The family ain't interested unless you get a business proposal, pal. Got it? Good. Now get the hell out of here. If I remember correctly, I'll look around the markets, but I'm pretty sure that sometimes you can just see Crystal Braves standing in the main areas. Yep, look, there's one here. You can't interact with them, but they're just sort of standing guard. Thanks for indulging my request. Few places better in a market for privacy, I find. All the hustle and bustle of commerce means the most conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the Burnham Wall, when you and the captain interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything. Leave no detail out. That's not quite how the first told it. Those Duskites they were chasing. Latest word is that we lost the trail. But you never saw him yourself? Not before the fighting started, and not after? Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in my bones. I'm not daft enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boasts. Our information was reliable, goddammit. I know he purchased those weapons. As if I've never deciphered a moneylender's books or had to follow a transaction back to its source. Did plenty of that back when the Braves were getting started, believe me. The commander wanted assurances that we weren't taking gil from the wrong sort of benefactors. Of course, these days the money flows like water, and the first and third get the shiniest new toys. Forgive me, friend. I have a lot on my mind these days, and I appreciate you lending an ear. Right then, best get back to it. Momo, can you hear me? Wait, sorry, this is Tataru.
Momo, can you hear me? This is Tataru. Your presence is urgently requested at the Rising Stones. Please come and see me as soon as you're able.
Let me actually take a sec, because it's nearby. It's like right over here, and go unlock Corn. Of course I get here and somebody's metal working. I suppose this is as good a place to do it as any. With how mining is sort of centered in this area. Thanaland, that's the name of the country. I was striking a blank there. Welcome to the stately ruin that was, and is, the Sunken Temple of Corn. What a relief they actually sent someone who's been here and knows the drill. The twins? They can be a little overbearing. They'll need some of that imperiousness soon enough, though, when it falls on them to run the concern. In case you didn't know, those two are the chairman's progeny. Them and Miss Neneko. You'll find out much change within, thanks to those fool robbers. Take care, but not so much that you cannot make haste. While I'm here, actually, why don't I go ahead and do Corn? Where is it, actually? Level 35. Unfortunately, that's just strong enough that I can't do that on my own. If it were level 20, I absolutely could. But level 30 or above, when I'm only level 57, I don't think that's something I can survive. So let's go ahead and queue for that, and hopefully it pops soon. Because I do want to take out the dungeons that I did off stream. I want to do them real quick.
Thank you for coming so quickly, Momo. We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most, determined lady by all indications.
The rising chorus. Tataru seems eager to escort you to the solar.
Our guest is with the antecedent and the solar are present. Let's not keep them waiting any longer, shall we?
Period, shall we? It's not a run-on sentence. At this point, it would be more unnerving if he spoke plainly. Unexpected tidings from the north, borne by Lord Commander II. What manner of wind bloweth this day? Good of you to join us. We've much to discuss.
This is no time for idle chatter.
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm. Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers, not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthan rhyme, aye. The brightening of the Dragonstar is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgard Soma himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald, only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Garlean fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Ariange has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragonstar portends, the Great Worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgard Zorma had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. We cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgard Zorma. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights. Therefore, Sir Emric would entrust this task to you. Do you accept? We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
Forgive me if I stated aught which you already know, but I would ensure that you understand the nature of your destination. As Urioje stated, what we now call the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrius, former flagship of the Imperial fleet and the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Eorzea, Gaius von Balsar attempted to seek control of Mordona. So massive was his force that all thought his victory a foregone conclusion. But an unlikely ally came to Eorzea's aid that day. Midgard Sommer, legendary guardian of Silvertear Falls, burst forth from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against the Garlean airships overhead. In what would later become known as the Battle of Silvertear Skies, the Great Worm felled countless airships before engaging the Agrius. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's cerulean engines failed, and it tumbled into the lake below. Yet this victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. That same explosion okay, we're gonna have to accept this. That same explosion transferred Silvertear Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing ether from moms around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, and at its center a constant reminder of that fateful day long ago. Also, hello, Kit! Thanks for hopping in. Fuck, I just realized I could have done this with NPCs. Damn it! Oh. How's your night? It's time to poo. Now I kind of wish I'd done this with NPCs, but oh well, done is done. There's another potato here. Oh no, is everyone here a baby? Yeah, they're definitely babies because they just ran off without collecting the fucking important item. Oh no, guys, heal the fucking tank, please. Oh no! Oh no. Is the tank doesn't have tank stance on. It's a bunch of sprouts, I understand. Oh man, does that... Oh no, the tank's dead again. Never mind, they did have Brit on, but... Oh man, this isn't gonna be good. I don't think I've done any missions with babies yet. With sprouts, I mean. Did we not heal the tank, or the... Yeah. Well, they're acting like they know what they're doing. I have doubts. So the glowing squares get rid of Doom, BT dubs. I think this is actually the first dungeon that implements the Doom as an idea. Okay. Oh, somebody has a Moogle weapon, I heard it. Yeah, let's not do big pulls. Yeah, Kupo, it's honestly one of my favorite noises. Oh no, this black mage is real bad at managing their mana. Then again, mana management is so hard this early in the game. I could have just... Now, here's the thing. You're supposed to put stuff into things here. I generally don't remember in what order or where. I just brute forced it. So yeah, this entire place is like multiple ruins that like random civilizations added to over time and kept adding more and more like traps to. And of course, beasties like these guys just showed up there over time naturally. And I think it's because of the calamity 5 years ago that it became accessible again. But a lot of people just kept dying, so people didn't really go in here. And I don't exactly remember the situation that led us here in the first time. I think we were told to go there for like... I'll have to look it up. What the context was. I think we were told to go there to maybe rescue a researcher? I think technically we can put stuff in the stone pedestals, but what's the point, really? I think I did it last time I did this dungeon, and there's really nothing there with the exception of, like chests that really don't have much of value. Healer, heal thyself, please. Now, I generally don't remember what goes into the Scales of Judgment. Spooky, scary, skelly-mans. I do enjoy in A Realm Reborn, whenever you see a Skelly Man, the odds are quite good that they're gonna make that ee-hee-hee-hee noise. Okay, so left and right. I don't actually know. I think it has to do with Ulda's... Or maybe Sildé's flag. Cause I'm sorry. Why'd they use the fucking limit break? Okay. So my question is it the same as Ulda's flag, which is wealth on the left, might on the right? Or is it the opposite? Doesn't matter anyway. You know what would be nice to have right now? A full limit break bar. That'll be nice, that'll be nice. I did way more stupid shit when I was a Sprout. Kit can attest. Man, I forgot that the fucking leg sweep actually works on bosses this early in the game. Really? Can I? Oh. Ah, you prick. There we go. That was actually kind of fun doing it with real people again. You know what? You tried. I'll give you that. You're also the other potato. And speaking of that, now that we have that one out of the way, let's queue for hard mode. And jump through this.
We have...
I'm gonna skip through this a little bit.
We have the Lord.
Until where I was before.
Now that
The last night, not since. The old. The bright.
After only to.
Ariange. Tataru.
Correct me. Raw is, but it is for this very only by therefore.
Think.
We knew you.
To prepare.
Wait, I think I was actually done with.
Great worm rolls.
I
His
was.
brethren cannot choose.
I think I was actually done with the cutscene, and it was the post-cutscene dialogue I was working through. Right, I think I was here. That same explosion transformed Silver Tear Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing ether from moms around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, and at its center, a constant reminder of that fateful day long ago. In accordance with Sir Emmerich's wishes, our Doman allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. It would be wise to speak with them before investigating the wreckage yourself. Be careful, my friend. We know not what dangers await you within. Now then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There's much to be done, and precious little time to do it. Before I depart, I must needs speak with the antecedent in private, if you would be so kind. Midgardsormr was once worshipped as the guardian deity of Silver Tear Falls, yet there he has lain for 15 years.
Oh gods, if that charred monstrosity actually returns to life, I don't know what I would do.
The Lady Knight from Ishgard cuts quite a gallant figure, doesn't she? Considering the sudden arrival of foreign envoys and the like, preparing suitable meals at the Rising Stones can prove to be an interesting challenge. Though it may seem tedious when compared with the smiting of terrible foes, poring over crumbling scrolls is one of the Scion's most important duties. Without the illumination of knowledge, we but vainly flail at spectres in the dark. We were able to locate these elusive manuscripts in the archives of the Thaumaturges Guild. I had not spoken much with the new guild masters, but thankfully they were quite willing to accommodate us in our search. I must confess, the relationship between those crystal formations and the destruction of the Ascians quite escapes me. Professor Lambertain has published a thorough study on corrupted crystals and their properties. I highly recommend you procure yourself a copy of his work. I'm pushing ahead with my research as quickly as I dare. The next time you face an Ascian, I would have you fight with the proper weapon in hand.
I traveled to Ul'dah to meet with Thancred's friend, the one who promised us that rare ore, and she began cursing me with words I've only ever heard from the mouth of pirates. I still have no idea what she was so angry about. In hindsight, mayhaps setting a lady in my stead was not the wisest of decisions. Pray ignore my rambling. Thancred, you're a piece of work. So I've got an ad coming up. I'm going to go ahead and run this now, because this queue is not popping in the next 3 minutes, so let me go ahead and run that, and I'll be back with you folks in 3 minutes. Oh my! I guess I have to eat my words. A whole party must have fucking queued at once. Or almost a full party. And here the ad is already going. Or still going, rather.
think this is the one with the football mummies. Aw, no potatoes. Baladian Knight. Well, I mean, that's a confirmation that the Baladians were here at some point. Welcome back! You know how I said that the dungeon was not gonna pop, the queue was not gonna pop before the ad was over? I lied! Or rather, I jinxed it, I guess is more accurate. Oh my! Fucking... Tomb Raider Indiana Jones ass puzzles. So that jump actually used to harm you, and you would have to heal up before going to this. So, do you remember who we fought as the final boss? He's back! Except now he's the first mini-boss. Sorry, guys. I did not register that that damn thing was on me. Oh, damn it. No, that's not the way I wanted to go. Fun fact, if you don't run out of that, it sucks you down, which is not good for anyone involved. I do always find it very funny when the final boss of like the standard mode dungeon is the hard mode dungeon's first boss. I really find it funny. It's a couple of the wannabe are those the researchers actually? I think those might have been the researchers. Aw. Maybe that pull was a little beyond our current capabilities, guys. I was gonna say, yeah, yeah, these do not look like outlaws to me. They look like researchers. Oh, lordy. Can we do it with this crew? We'll see. Nope, nope, nope. Where's the queenie? Queenie? Where's the queenie? Let me focus on the queenie. Oh, there we go. Okay. Ah, tits. always hate killing sabotenders. They're just so cute. Unfortunately, they're also deeply unfriendly. Take a look at the jewel, boys. It's the size of me head. Here we have the damn thieves. Reckless Tomb Raider indeed. The healer has a lore accurate name, actually. Sir Guy Moinwyn. Football time! This has nothing to do with football, BT dubs. It's just what I call some of the enemies here. Okay, so the reason I call this fight that is not because of this guy, it's because of his minions. Okay, those ones, these ones, who they just run across the field. And for whatever reason, that makes someone, I think, once described them to me as linebackers. And all I can think of now is those guys. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and we do not want to get hit by those guys, because if we do, we get a stack of, I think, zombie or something. And if you get 3 stacks of those, 3 stacks, you get turned into a zombie or a mummy, and you attack your friends until it wears off. Okay, so there's that one. Aw, Curse of the Mummy, damn it. Okay, I'll just have to... And part of the problem is, you have to be as careful as you can to not get hit, Because... tits. Because there's some attacks that he has that also inflict Curse of the Mummy, and I think they're unavoidable. Pretty sure that was it. Or not, actually, it doesn't look like the mummy curse happened. This is actually one of my favorites. It's honestly, I find it easier and more fun than regular mode Temple of Corn. Hey, I got a player comm. Fun. You're the one who caused all that commotion, aren't you? 12's sake, walk softly. Ma'am. Ma'am, I'm here to save your life, ma'am. Non-intrusive first and systematic always. Never forget. Now then, who are you? One of the apprentice haulers? I mean, she has a good point. Non-intrusive first is your best approach when it comes to exploring any kind of ancient civilization. Yes, I'm Neneko, but why would anyone be looking for me? What? Ancient traps have been triggered? I had no idea. I alone ventured into the deepest section of the temple, for the work there required the most delicate of touches. I was completely oblivious to the commotion until you came. What of the members of my expedition? Please tell me they're safe. Sorry, hun. Scarcely any survivors. Gods be good. I know that we were come to a dangerous place, but all those lives. But this is neither the time nor the place for mourning. Let us quit this place. I have a duty to notify our backers of this incident. Meanwhile, might I ask you to go and tell Popo and Sese that I'm fine? I mean, at least she's got the right morals in regards to this sort of thing. Let's go ahead and turn this in. No, that's not what I want to do. Thank you. Yes? Where's Neneko? You'd better have good news, or I'll let my brother do this his way. My dear brothers. I've worried you, haven't I? I'm sorry. But as you can see, there's nothing to be concerned about. Neneko? Neneko, we've been so worried about you. We'd feared the worst. It's so good to see your face. I must thank you again, good adventurer. After we parted ways, I sent for a search party and we were able to rescue the survivors. Neneko, from now on, I'm going to accompany you on all expeditions. Those Paladians were real bastards about booby traps. It's not safe for you alone. Rather, she won't be alone because I'm going with her. Brothers, you forget your duty. Your place is with the concern. You're right that the temple is dangerous. but I can make it safe. All you need is to believe. We must look at the causes, the twin causes of today's incident. The people's belief that within lie magical relics, and that the ruins are now safe to traverse. Those temple raiders are already telling tales of deadly ancient traps in every tavern, but we'll let it be known that there's no ordinary danger that awaits. The Order of Nalthal has agreed to vehemently deny that the temple's relics are cursed, that tales of looters found horribly dead afterwards are baseless. That should give instant credence to the opposite and end the looting. For a while, at least. Neneko, you're brilliant! I may be the strongest one, but you've got the goods upstairs. Right you are about our sister, puny brother, and I'm not going to stoop to stating the obvious. They say history is the gristle of the past, but in these ruins, the past is fleshed out again. That's what I love about this work. I won't let those raiders despoil the place. The ruins are not a mine to be dug and blasted for gil. If they want gold or gems, let them join the Miners' Guild and toil for them. Genuinely, like, that whole storyline is honestly one of my favorites in A Realm Reborn. Like, as far as, like, minor, not main story side dungeons. Okay, let's keep poking at MSQ, shall we? And before I'm done tonight, I'm also gonna do, I think I'm about to unlock Keeper of the Lake, so I'd like to do that. You're in luck, miss. I was about to send word to Revenant's Toll about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake. Though I cannot say for certain at this distance, I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. The Castrum supply lines have been cut for some time, and I'd wager they're desperately in need of spare parts and other equipment, not to mention ceruleum. Which is basically it's not oil. It looks like oil because it's like blue, in some places there's like water that has a lot of ceruleum in it, and it's like blue or green, but it's a mineral. So it's true then. The Ishgardians honestly fear that the worm may rise again? Well, from here that seems rather unlikely. But if it's assurances they want, you've no choice but to inspect the corpse in its entirety. Easier said than done, given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage, and the aforementioned Garleans who won't take kindly to your presence. They're sure to fire upon the airship, so I'd advise a more stealthy approach. Take this boat and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrias, then climb to the top. That's the only viable approach, I'd say. Yeah! Duty support! I can do this with NPCs! Woo! Excellent. The boat is yours for the taking, though I wouldn't make the journey without a few friends at my side, as those Garleans won't hesitate to attack you. Eat NPC time! This scaffolding seems sturdy enough, says the Marauder. Actually, good question. How many... Okay, never mind. Okay, so we're definitely... I'm gonna want to use some poetics once I'm out of here. Those are the things you do for doing dungeons for the first time that can get you better gear and whatnot. Yeah, they're called... These guys are called Codpiece Clipper and Harness Clipper. So that's funny. I love goblins. They're such weird little guys, but they're really cute. Son of the Keeper. So, fun fact, Midgardsormr literally was the one to bring... is the father of all dragons. That's why he's called the King of Kings. At least I think I remember that being the case. It's been a while. But yeah, every single dragon or dragon-type being on the planet owes itself to Midgardsormr. Like back in the day. Many thousands of years ago. Dragons live a long-ass time. Man, I don't like Nyxes. Do I remember how to fight this guy? Very vaguely. Damn it. Good job, me. could have gone better. I do love this little guy's design, though. I dare not ask how they learned to use explosives like that. Thankfully, their aim was poor. Hey. A key to use in the magic terminal so we can get through the thingy. Wait. I like not the looks of that inductor. Best we get rid of it. Oh jeez, I didn't dodge fast enough. That's on me. That is the one thing I hate about these kind of levels. I really hate the alarm noise. I'm glad it's now over. I seem to remember you doing bombing runs. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting a gunship. Come what may, you'll not want for succor. I see. That's what I was remembering. Signifier, that's a healer. Kill him. Be real. My dumbass genuinely thought that it shot out like those Garleans like fucking missiles in the first round. Oh, well that's a mistake. Oh, no, running. That would have been so funny. Just load the fucking Garleans into the torpedo bays. So what if they come out splattered? We already know the Garleans don't care about their conscripts. I thought it would prove more of a challenge than that. Did I burn it down too quickly for your liking? I do enjoy that these guys have... I've said it before. I like that they have character. A Magitech gunship launches a surprise assault. Yeah, I see you. So we get to deal with the action. So right now we are walking on Midgard Somer's corpse. Those are his wings. He was a big ass boy, the size of bigger than a skyscraper. Because dragons are super long-lived, but they also grow really, really slowly. So like baby dragons, they're itty-bitty. And generally the older a dragon is, the larger it is. Although there does seem to be a size cap for certain species. True dragons are actually pretty rare. There's plenty of like draconids, so to speak, like wyverns and whatnot. But true dragons, there's only a bare handful of them. And that includes Midgard Somer, Tiamat, and some of the other characters we'll encounter later. Bah, another aerial assault? Are we almost there? I fear my legs may give out soon. I mean, to be fair, this is not exactly a very fun area to hide. Like, these dragonflies are not true dragons. And neither are the bias, but they are considered to be related distantly. please. Thank you, NPCs. The gunship returns to the sky.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from slumber sweet? Thou hast forgotten the face of thy lord. Remember, mortal, and fear me.
This is actually part of why I want to do this one with NPCs. Hey, Midgy, I should... Even should our enemy be a great worm, we mustn't fall. Come then, thou shalt be weighed in the balances. Into thee I place my spirit. Rise, my child, and join in the chorus. I bid thee rise, my child, and join in the chorus once more. Of course, we can't attack y'all yet. More's the pity. How bold thy defiance! Yet full of fear is thy heart. Oh, that's right. We got it. This is DPS check. You gotta kill these guys ASAP before the meter hits 100. You're dead. Hearken to me, mortal, and thou shalt know I am thy lord. I'm an atheist, sir. So thou art gifted. Flames of judgment blaze and burn. I just realized we're level 50, but that's still a thaumaturge instead of a black mage. So the NPCs do not get job stones then. Disgust. Well, that's just rude. What does this look like? I mean, it's cute, I guess.
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve. Speak, mortal, and I shall listen. Guided by a star. My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Seven children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end. Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee.
You have a weird idea of what harm constitutes, my dude. You got nerfed!
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine.
That's some fucking jigsaw ass logic. I didn't kill them, I just put them in deadly traps.
I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more. The covenant binds me to thee. I shall watch, listen, and wait. Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. I drink of her body, and thence doth mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth a beginning and an end.
You may now summon Midgardsormr by summoning the... So, Midgy is now a fucking minion. Or not you. Where is he? Okay, there he is. Summon Midgardsormr. Not the big one, the little one. Father of Dragons, Keeper of the Lake, Bane of the 14th Legion. While it's difficult to believe the Yom-Long pup could be of any of those things, he assures you his current form is only temporary whilst he awaits the reconstruction of a new corporeal vessel. Him baby. Him real little. I was beginning to fear the worst. Were those explosions I saw? Ah, but you shouldn't waste time talking with me. Alphino left a message saying that you were to return to the Rising Stones at once. Midgy is such a bitch. Actually, give me a sec. I need to heal my... I need to repair my damn gear. That said, though, I do think that's it for me, because the next ad is going to be coming any second, and I'm not making y'all watch a fucking 3-minute ad when I don't have the energy to continue for more than a couple, like maybe 20 minutes. So I think that's it for me for tonight. Thank you for joining me on this little ride here. Sunday I'll be doing some Power Wash Simulator 2. But that's it. That's going to be it for me for this week, and my schedule will be out Sunday too. But yeah, Naricon, thank you for keeping me company. And Kit, thank you for popping in. I appreciate you. So who do we want to go ahead and say hi to tonight? Zinni is doing some Ratchet and Clank. GK's doing Just Chatting. Samhain's doing Terror at Oakhart. Ollie Rob's also doing Just Chatting. Deku... It's not... Oh, Deku and Z are doing something together. says retro, and the name of the name of it says "Gah." They killed bottles. I'm not sure what that is in reference to, but it seems fun. And Ornaloy is doing Traveler's Rest. I've heard of that one. Any preferences to who do we send it over to tonight? I think I've rated most of these folks within the last couple months, at least once, so I guess I could just random. Who have I rated recently? Let's see. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm actually just looking through who I have rated recently, because I don't want to repeat somebody I've done like within the last couple of weeks. You know what? Why don't we go ahead and send it over to Zenny? It's been a while since we've said hi to Zenny. But yeah, guys, we're starting to get closer and closer to actually starting Heavensward, which is exciting. And yeah, I look forward to experiencing that with you folks. But in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and until we talk again, have a good one. Now, let's go say hi to Zinni.